Political veteran Dr. Makhosi Khoza has joined the Abantu Batho Congress as Deputy President, and she was unveiled along other members this week. Let's chat to her about this move now, and she joins us live now. Thank you so much, Dr. Khoza, for your time. Why the ABC?
Well, thank you very much for having me. I'm currently the president of the Bantu Languages Development Institute, and part of our mandate is to develop African languages as tools of prestige and prosperity. And with the Bantu Languages Development Institute resorted to join the ABC because they felt that we are so aligned with their policies and philosophic quests.
And for you, I don't know if there are concerns. I'm sure you've seen what has been happening in the public domain around this political party as well, some factional battles, some divisions within that particular party. How concerned are you about that?
I am not very concerned. I was a victim of that when I was at ADEC. And the reality of the situation is that in South Africa, you have a lot of career politicians and people who cannot find job, and they see politics as a way of finding employment. So that doesn't concern me a lot. I'm more concerned about the philosophy of the organization, especially the fact that it is focusing on the South African native as its primary motive force. And to me, that is primary, because that is what I've been fighting for all along. And in fact, that's exactly what chased me away from the ANC after 35 years of spending my time there, because I felt that the South African native was being betrayed.
So what do you say then to someone who's watching right on that very point right now, who says that your political career since you left the ANC, for them, they say it nosedived. They're looking at ADEC, they're looking at Action SA now, the ABC. So, and they say, why should we trust you? And, especially if you've been moving around as much as you have.
And I would just tell those people that they suffer from these patriarchal attitudes. There are so many men, they move all the time from political parties. Why must I be stuck with a political party that is not working for me, that is not aligned to what I wanted to deliver to my South African natives? Besides that, I was fired at Action SA. So why are we making this an issue? My own president, Philani Mavundla, has been in the ABC, has been in the ANC. I was with him in the ANC, has gone to the NFP, and now he's with ABC. Nobody is making an issue about that. I think we have to start unlearning these patriarchal attitudes. Women have the right as much as men do. So I think I should be celebrated as a woman with resilience, and a woman who is able to retreat and come back to the ring and fight on for her people.
So I suppose then with that you're saying that the voters must trust you?
Of course, I stood against corruption in this country when it was not fashionable to do so. And I stand my ground. I'm very principled. I introduced the first ever very transparent process of appointing the public protector in the Republic of South Africa. And regrettably, that public protector has been impeached, and yet the same another public protector who did exactly the same thing on making adverse findings on a sitting president was never persecuted like this public protector, Busisiwe Mkhwebane. So I am saying to you, voters have the right, they have to believe in me, and also I'm not forcing anyone. You've got to understand the society and the dynamics in society. Women are always treated harshly in politics than men. And I am saying to women, you go girl, be resilient. They must fight you, get out, retreat, get back to the ring and fight on. And that's what I'm doing.
Talking about getting back in the ring, there was speculation, I'm sure you saw it. Take us into your confidence. There was a suggestion that you're joining the MK party. Was that true? Were you planning to?
Let me tell you something. I think people were bracing that on the fact that I met with President Jacob Zuma. President Jacob Zuma, whether you love or hate him, the truth is the rank and file believe in him. And also you have to remember that President Jacob Zuma is a very wise man. He may not be as educated as some of us, but frankly, he understands this political game more than most of us. And getting some wisdom from him did not mean that I was joining the MK party. So people just read whatever they wanted to read. And I've made my own choice. I said I'm joining the APC, and I can't discuss anything further than that. So I chose my political party, and that is APC.
Does it mean then that your opinion about him has changed, given what you've said about him in the public domain?
Let me tell you something. There is no way my opinion about President Jacob Zuma cannot change. I have seen pala happening in this country, and all those people I stood up with against President Jacob Zuma, they are quiet about it. Nobody is calling on President Ramaphosa to stand down. And secondly, we have seen, I live in KwaZulu-Natal, we see the looting, the unprecedented looting of first-grade coal, and yet our industries are dying because there is load shedding. And I see nobody saying these things. We have seen the persecution of Busisiwe Mkhwebane. We have seen the burning down of parliament. We have seen the death, the murder of more than 300 people in KwaZulu-Natal alone during July 2021 unrest. And nobody is saying President Ramaphosa must step down. I am revolting against that hypocrisy. I stand for the truth, and if it means I have to have my head chopped because I'm standing for the truth, I am consistent. I'm a consistent politician. I am not going to have the lives of other people discredited and so forth simply because other people have another agenda that is not consistent. If you are going to fight corruption, be consistent. Let's fight corruption consistently. Let's not be selective about it. And you know very well that there are a lot of ministers were implicated in the state capture who are still ministers and they are not being pursued. Why is that?
Dr. Khoza, we're out of time, but in 10 seconds. So you talk about consistency. Does this mean that you are now either regretting all of those things you said about former President Jacob Zuma then, or do you still stand by them? I'm trying to get this consistency here.
You know, David Molapo says, if you are not growing, you are dying. I am growing. I'm growing even as a politician, and I am learning from all the things that I do on a daily basis. The truth is, whatever I stood for, I was genuine about it. But some people hijacked it for their own agendas. And I'm not going to be party to that. I'm about a South African native that remains oppressed to this day, despite over 340 years of struggle.
All right.
So I am saying to you, I am for the South African native, and the South African native, just the other day, the president was celebrating that, was celebrating that South Africa was celebrating that the social grant recipients have increased from 2.5 million to over 20 million in the last 30 years. Are we celebrating the poverty of South African natives? I don't agree. We did not fight to be social grant recipients.
Okay. Dr. Khoza, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
I appreciate your time. Thank you very much, madam.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Khoza. Thank you.